Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting, head-scratching episode of Insane Disappearances. I am your host for the night, as usual. So sit back, grab you some coffee or a nice cold whatever, because I'm about to blow your mind with another great story that comes from the mouth of David Paulides. This one is about a man named Cody Sheehy, or Sheehy. I think it's Sheehy. It's Sheehy. This one is a special case that comes straight out of Oregon. Now, there's a lot of talk about how tons of people seem to either vanish or go missing or get lost in the forests or national parks of Oregon. There's tons of stories coming out of there. Now this one in particular, like I said, is about a man named Cody Sheehy. If I said Tony, I apologize. It's Cody Sheehy. Now with him, like I said, this was in Oregon. It has its share of miraculous survival stories too. Now, Cody Sheehy was just about 6 years old when he wandered off deep into the Wallowa wilderness. Now, search crews using 2 helicopters with forward-looking infrared technology couldn't find a trace of him in the rugged woods, dampened by snow and rain, which is another big problem when it comes to these disappearances. How weather seems to always show up out of nowhere. Where one minute it's fine, next minute you got like hundreds of feet of snow within hours. Or torrential downpour. You name it. It always happens shortly after a person goes missing or disappears or gets lost in the woods. It's an ongoing epidemic when it comes to people that go through what they go through. According to the stories that David Paulides puts out in his books or in the movie that he just came out with. Now, in almost all these cases, they bring helicopters with FLIR to look for a heat signature on the ground. This is the one thing that David Paulides has always said in all his interviews. Now they can't find a heat signature, which is very unusual, because if you're trying to find a body or a person that is lost in the woods, let's just say they're stationary, and their parents always told them, stay put until someone finds you. Now this may be hours later, and it may be even getting dark, but you have no other choice, because why keep moving and getting even more lost when you could just stay right where you are until someone finds you? Especially if they know what trail you was walking on. But in these cases, you can be flying over an area that's during the cold weather, during the cold season, and never find a heat signature. Excuse me. Now there are stories about how the reason why most heat signatures are not found in the forest, the national forests, is because for some reason they don't realize that the body may be lying underneath a log. Because if you got a cold, temperature log, which has been sitting on the ground probably for like hundreds of years, they somehow placed the body underneath the log. Now, when I say they, I can mean anything or anybody. I can mean whatever mysterious entity or whatever is taking people and placing them back in a certain spot hundreds of miles away from where they were last seen. Or it could be aliens, like the reptilian aliens that devoured the human body, without leaving a trace of any type of DNA or sign of who these people were, except for maybe a tiny little bone, maybe like a tibia, or at the top of your cranium, like Jerry Atadero. But every case, we got different cases with the same scenario that happens every single time. No FLIR heat signature found. Helicopters always seem to crash every once in a while when it comes to these people trying to be found, or they just never found. Weird, very, very weird, very weird. Now, from what Paulides said, or not Paulides, but Cody Sheehy. Now, he said that I was physically at the end of my rope that next morning. And if I hadn't been in a situation where people found me at the time, I don't know how I would have done for another night out there. I could easily have died. Now, more than 30 years before Sheehy's harrowing experience, another astonishing story unfolded near Pendleton, where a 2.5-year-old Keith Parkins ran and stumbled over a dozen miles of snow-covered timberland and mountains before he was found 19 hours later. He was stiff and cold but alive. Yeah, okay. Now, see, I talked about him in a previous video that I posted, so I don't really need to go too far into that. But it goes on to say, after the information about Keith Parkins. Let me see. Now, I mean, to me as a parent, I think this is something that David Paulides said. I can see my 2-year-old climbing over two mountain. I can't see my 2-year-old climbing over 2 mountain ranges in the dark. This is what, like I said, what Paulides said. That's pretty hard to believe, and there are some cases where little kids are alleged to have walked up to 20 miles at night, or climbed phenomenal heights over 3,000 to 4,000 feet, and those are facts, and it's highly hard to believe. Now, yeah, in cases like that, it seems to happen a lot. Now, one of my factual theories, I said that maybe they're being pumped full of adrenaline, giving them the energy to travel these, traverse these long distances and heights. Maybe they are being experimented on, but not being taken into a spaceship. They're probably using them as a visual experiment on how little kids react to adrenaline. So they probably pump it full of it, and they are able to actually just traverse these large distances. Where they can walk through huge fields or climb high mountains, and then they're found hours later in these areas where they know they shouldn't even been in the first place, because they realize that they're just a little kid. They can't travel that far. Obviously, they can if they had help. Now, the question is, what kind of help are they getting? Are they being carried to these places? Are they being picked up and dropped off after being prodded and picked by whoever? Or are they simply being pumped full of adrenaline by an unknown assailant that can't be seen at any time or another? That's a perfect possibility for a child to travel that far. I know children have a lot of energy. They're very energetic and they be running around, laughing and joking around and just playing all over the place. But there's never any case where a child gets that much energy to travel that far or that high in the mountains, But they always seem to do that. They disappear from sight, and next thing you know, boom, they're found hours later, probably practically dead or hiding somewhere in the bush, because they said that there was this huge hairy man following me. I've heard stories like that as well. So it could be anything. The question is what, and that's the one thing that we don't have is the answer to the what. But my factual theories can get us there. It's just a matter of you out there believing it. But in the midst of all this, I want to send a shout out to all of my viewers from all over the country, from Finland. I got some viewers in Greece. So the ones that I haven't mentioned, I know you guys are out there, so I appreciate you guys listening to my channel. And for all the ones that liked my Facebook page, Mysterious Disappearances, I just want to say thank you. And if you got any cases in your area, feel free to send them to me, through a comment on this page or any other page, or you can email them to me. My email will be in the description box below, so you'll know how to get in contact with me. And I want to send a message out to Dale Stelling's son. I believe it was your son, his grandson, that contacted me on my channel because he saw a video about your father, that I posted. I just want to say, if you want to talk about what happened, all I want to do is get the truth out there. And if you don't, knowing it's only been about maybe 3 or 4 years, I understand. I don't want to push nobody into anything they don't want to do, but the news has to get out there. And I saw the interview that you guys gave on David Paulides' Missing 411 movie, on how they just inadvertently just treated y'all like crap. They wouldn't even come out to talk to you. The park rangers, they couldn't even talk to you about anything. You couldn't get any answers out of them. So but like I said, if you ever want to talk, you can hit me up in an email. Leave your number in there, and I will contact you. So like I said, my offer's open. For anybody who is a relative of a person who vanished without a trace, and they made it into David Paulides' books, feel free to contact me, because I've gotten a lot of contacts from the family members of people that have actually disappeared, and I have actually made videos about, like the cousin of one of my a guy that I talked about. I think his name was Brian. Can't remember his last name. But she wanted me to take that video down because it was just too much to bear, knowing that he disappeared. And I respected her wishes, and I did take the video down. So if anybody was looking for that video, like I said, it has been permanently taken down, out of respect for his cousin. So so for anybody else that's out there that may be watching my channel, and you are a descendant or you're a relative of the person who vanished without a trace, feel free to hit me up. Hit me up with a comment, or or email me your information, like a phone number, and I can call you. Just like what happened with my good friend, who I interviewed for the first time, my very first interview. She, I believe it was her granddaughter who contacted me first because she saw my video about her. I'm pretty sure I remember, Kathleen Van Alst. So, and then her daughter contacted me, and then I got in touch with Catherine. We had a nice interview, and she is such a sweet lady, for real. She sounded so cute over the phone. Like one of those cute little old ladies. But she had a lot to say, and she cleared up a lot of information that probably wasn't ever put out. And it was I won't say a small story. It was a pretty big story, but when you're dealing with the internet, sometimes it doesn't post everything. So it's good to get the interview from the actual person that it happened to, which is the reason why I wanted to do what I did, and have. So I was very glad to get more information from what happened to her, because there was a lot of misconceptions about what happened to her that night. And how they said that she was in a cave when she actually wasn't. So I'm glad I cleared that up. But yeah, so for anybody out there, like I said, if you want to, you can hit me up, and we can get the truth out there so everybody can hear what really happened to your family member. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, now he says he's not an overly mystical person. I didn't encounter anything that was unusual, he told everybody. Now, other than the fact that that situation was extremely unusual, Sheehy is alive. But the fate of others like Derek Ingerbretson and Sammy Bolhike, are why David Paulides keeps digging for answers. At this point, Paulides doesn't offer any of his own theories for what happened, and he has tirelessly mentioned that in every interview, because I'm pretty sure he does have a pretty good idea of what it could be, but he doesn't want to discredit himself with the families, because if he doesn't have any proof to back it up, then they're gonna look at him like he's crazy. And I know, and I understand where he's coming from in that area. So he spent years on the force, 20 years as a matter of fact. So his his cop know-how helps him get through all these cases and can spot out anything that is unusual. You know, in a lot of cases where people disappear off or they turn up dead mysteriously with weird evidence surrounding the death of the person. So, like I said, I humbly agree with him in that area. The only problem is with me is that's what my channel is all about. Talking about what you think this could be. And it's like I said, he always says he only states facts. But if you're looking at the facts actually lead you into the area because these are very strange and unusual facts. Like people being found dead in a wet, muddy area, but your body is bone dry. You're partially clothed with probably just your underwear on and some socks and no shoes. And they try to figure out why would they even take the shoes for one thing. What would you do with them? You know, and I guess DNA would be in the shoes because of sweat and all that stuff. You know, but at the same time, why would you take the shoes, let alone the clothes, and leave the person there with no clothes on if they were already dead? Now, the other strange part about that, which I know you already heard about because I've talked about it before, is the fact that there's never a cause of death surrounding the body, like no puncture wounds, stab wounds, bullet holes in the body, strangulation marks, evidence of a drug in their system, you know, except for GHB that somehow mysteriously gets into their system. They can't seem to figure out why. There's never any needle punctures in the skin. I'm pretty sure they check every part of the body, so it's almost like it's being like phased into the body, and it does its work after that. You know, I have recently gone back to the story I did about these two men from, I believe it was Portugal, and they had on these little lead sunglasses, and in the note that was left behind when they found their bodies in this wooded area, it was saying something about we have to take this pill before it's too late. So I'm guessing it's some sort of pill that becomes undetectable in your system after you swallow it, but it still is able to do some type of damage to where their bodies inside was rotted out, or decayed basically, and the outer layer of their body, the skin and, you know, the face and all that stuff, was completely untouched. So that right there was weird, you know. So that case actually fitted every part of David Paulides' books and the criteria is dealing with the cases. So, you know, but anyway, now I don't come up with any theories, and I don't believe in the paranormal per se. I just stick with facts in my books, and one of the factual things that happened is we request through the Freedom of Information Act a list of missing people from National Park Service. It's not like, but yeah, they came back and stated that they don't keep lists of missing people in their system. Now, the National Parks Police are among the best trained officers in the United States, and they know the importance of keeping lists, and we've ran this by some of the best investigative journalists in the world. Nobody believes that they don't have a list of missing people. I don't believe that either, because for you to constantly mention that you don't have anybody, you don't have the list of missing people in your parks, that makes a person believe that you actually do. You just don't want anyone to know. Because think about it. We're talking about a federally owned monument, a national park and national forests. Okay? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, well, millions of dollars basically goes into the national parks and the national forests just for it to stay beautiful and for spectators to come out and just enjoy, you know, the wilderness and enjoy the outdoors. And I completely understand the fact that they don't want to lose any, you know, ongoers into the parks. I understand that, but you have to realize that these people are coming into this park unaware of what's going on. Now, I would imagine you wouldn't want these people to lose their family members or their children in your parks, but yet you let it happen. and you act as if that you don't have to say anything to the families after what happened. You didn't give them any information about what it was, and I know they know what it was or who it was, because they wouldn't keep it a secret for this long, not for us not to find out about it. That part is the weirdest part to me, because you're talking about people who are disappearing in your parks. Why would you want to keep that a secret from anybody? And first of all, we already found out about it, through the internet and through David Paulides with his books. But you still don't want to say anything about it. You don't want to, appease the family members. Now, I know what you may tell them is going to be very far-fetched in their eyes, into their ears, but the truth is the truth. And if you're going to tell the families that, well, there is a unseen creature that roams around in our national parks or national forests, and they take people. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. And when they do come back, they come back without a memory. So they wipe their memory clean so that you won't be able to find out who it was that took them. Or you got people who turn up dead in our national parks, without a cause of death. Now, national parks is a little different from lakes or rivers. Now, if there is a lake or a river in the national forest or the national parks, that's one thing. But when it comes to people hiking and people jogging on the trail, or people camping out and they leave the area where there's a group of people that they camped out with just to go take a piss in the woods somewhere, they walk away and out of sight, and they never come back. They say 20 minutes go by and you realize that they haven't came back yet. So you go out there looking for them. You yell out their name, you never find them. Okay, search party is ensued. They search for hours, then for days. Okay, but shortly after, in between all that, what happens is, rain starts coming down, and it just wipes out any evidence stating where they were going, or where they disappeared at. You can't find nothing because the rain saturates the entire area and washes it clean. If there was a footprint on the ground, the rain would muddy it up, and then it would just flow into a flat surface. Okay, and then of course you got the ones who are just never found. There's no trace of them anywhere in the park. There's no trace of them even being in the park, except for the fact that they saw them walking away into the wilderness. Okay, but they don't come back. There was a story about a woman who went to the bathroom, and when she came out, her daughter was gone. Now, if you go to the bathroom with someone, and you go and you come out, and you standing outside waiting for them, by the time they can finish taking a piss and they come out the door, you're gone. And then you run back to the camper. You tell the husband. He said, well, she didn't come with me. She didn't come back here because she went with you, but she never came back. So that makes you wonder, what happened to her? Is it she just disappeared right there when she was standing there waiting for her mother? I don't know, because I think they said that she was kind of slow. She had Down syndrome, I think. Yeah, I think they said she had Down syndrome. And she still just vanished. Now, see, that's another thing about these cases. People tend to disappear. The ones who tend to disappear have an ailment, a mental disability, or a what do you call that? A handicap. Okay, they may be deaf. They can't speak. And those are the main ones that they take. The ones that can't speak, the ones that can't hear, because they have no way of telling anyone what happened, especially if they can't speak. Now, if they can't hear you, they can't say what you told them. They can only see what you told them. So seeing is believing, obviously, but sometimes believing is seeing. If you believe what your child says, even though you think they have an active imagination because they're a child and they make up stuff, 9 times out of 10, they're not making anything up. I've said this before in one of my past videos. If a child is telling you something that it sounds incredible to you, or something that is impossible in your eyes, you're not going to believe them. You're going to say, oh, they were just making it up. Let's just drop it. But if a child's telling you something that makes no sense to you, but they're very adamant about it, and they can tell you what happened word for word, obviously something happened. The only problem with that is a chosen few come back with a memory. Like the little boy who said that he saw his grandmother in the cave he was in. He said that one minute he was outside, next minute he was inside of a cave. And he saw a bunch of robots and dusty weapons that were just sitting around. And one of those robots looked like his grandmother because there was sparks shooting out the back of her neck. Here's the crazy part. When David Paulides interviewed the grandmother, she said that, it's kind of funny. I disappeared right before I disappeared right before he did. I think she was saying that her and her husband was abducted, or she was abducted. And she said that there was a little mark on the back of her neck, and she couldn't figure out where it came from. Now, it's just ironic because when the little boy saw his grandmother and saw those sparks shooting out the back of her neck, the sparks were coming from the same area where she had that little spot right there, like as if someone stuck a needle and the blood just dried up, or she just had a mark right there from whatever happened. So they obviously took her DNA and was able to create a Terminator style robot. Metal skeleton on the inside, but living tissue on the outside. And the funny thing about when he saw her was that she kept telling him to poo on a piece of paper, and he wouldn't do it because he had to go to the bathroom. And when she got mad after saying it more than one time, next thing you know, he's outside again. It's just like he just dematerializes from where he was, and then poof, you're outside. So what their intentions were, obviously they were trying to create a race of alien robots. I don't know, because if you can take DNA from a person and create a robot from it, it still needs wires to function. Wow. It's like I said, it's like looking at a Terminator at that point, but a earthly version of the Terminator, not your typical movie version. So and it kind of reminds me of that. I've said this before, that a lot of things that you see in movies are based off of true facts. Like let's see, like the show The Blacklist is based off an actual Raymond Reddington, who was a Russian. Okay, and he was a spy, I think. Yeah. So, like I said, if you hear stuff in movies or on TV shows, and you look at the way the TV show is, produced, or whatever the case may be, they had to have gotten that idea from something that they may have heard in the past. Okay, and most of these shows are based off of true events, just like the show Sliders, that that came out way back in like the mid to early 90s. It was about a young man who created a device that could help him travel, help him slide through portals to get to another world. Okay, and there's all kinds of talk about parallel Earths and these wormholes that open up where they see these little lights come out through the mouth of the wormhole, and it's obviously UFOs. And they got foul footage on the internet of these wormholes. These little long, streaky looking blue light type clouds. It's like illuminated clouds, or a long extended cloud with a tail on it. And you look towards the opening part, and you see a white light comes out of it, and then the tunnel closes. There is a video on there about that. If you just type in wormholes, it'll show a wormhole opening up in the sky at night, and you'll see a white light coming out of the mouth of it. So very weird, very creepy, but at the same time, very, very exciting. I love stuff like that. And the videos that you see on YouTube, yeah, there's a lot of people that like to fool with people as far as UFOs. Like a video I just saw a couple of nights ago of this. It was a video of a mothership coming through a wormhole into our space. Well, not into our space, but right above our heads. And it was moving real slow, and you could see the wormhole just kind of just slithering around in a circle. So as the doorway opens up, and then it comes through real slow, and then it just shuts, real slow. Then poof, it's gone. But that was CGI. Anyone could tell that it was, because if someone had a video of something like that happen, I'm not saying that can't happen, but I just know it doesn't. And if it does, not too many people gonna get that close up to a UFO where you're gonna see it coming out of a wormhole. But you never know. One of these days it may actually happen. Now the video was very well put together. Excuse me, guys. What's up? All right. Okay, sorry about that, guys, but yeah, so um yeah, it's some really strange stuff out there, man. I mean, all these things that happen, they have an answer to it. They really do. But the thing is, the answer to all of these questions of all these mysterious disappearances and vanishings and people being found dead mysteriously with no cause of death, they all have answers. But the question is, will you believe the answer when the answer is told? Or when the answer is given to you? Because I can give you the answer right here, right now, and I have done in the past. But it is up to you to believe in what I am telling you. I wouldn't tell you no lies. I mean, I know there's times when I've gotten stuff wrong, and I try my best to, correct myself in that area. But like I said, what I do tell you comes from factual theories. Okay, I said earlier in one of my last videos I was gonna eradicate, the word theory in a lot of what I'd be saying, because the theories that I talk about or speak of, those are facts. Those are the answers to all the weird facts and weird questions surrounding disappearance. So from now on, everything I tell you that comes up as a theory of what really happened, it is a fact. That's the way I'm going to put it. I'm going to say my facts. They may be theories, to the untrained ear or the untrained eye, but they are actually factual theories. Okay? Because if you look at a weird case or weird evidence, you got to have a weird answer to correlate with it. It's the only way it can be done. You can't answer a weird question with a straight up logical answer. It's just impossible. Okay? This is a well-known fact to anyone who thinks the way I think. If you got weird evidence surrounding a case, you need a weird answer to figure it out. Right? Don't you think? You don't need a straight up logical answer for a weird question or weird evidence. That makes no sense whatsoever. That's just not done. You can't do that. No. Okay? So think about it. If you have a case in your town where the evidence is very weird, like say they were found dead in an area miles away from where they were last seen, which was at a bar, and then poof, like 9 days later or 54 days later, they're found dead, either face down or face up, near a body of water or floating in a body of water. Okay? But when you found them, their clothes, half of their part of their clothing was missing, like their pants or their shirt, and they hadn't on nothing but their underwear and their socks. And that's only if they floating in the water. Now, if you face down in the water, men mainly, women are always face up. So if you find a dead body on the ground, and it's in a muddy area near a body of water, but the body is bone dry, and they only have on their socks and their underwear. First of all, why would even a serial killer do that unless you was gonna rape them? And then, you just gonna be nice enough to just put their panties or their underwear back on and leave their socks on, but you take everything else, the clothes and the shoes. Sometimes the clothes are folded neatly on top of a log or near the body, and they find the identification on the body and their money. Nothing's taken, but yet they're found dead with no cause of death near a body of water and on a muddy ground, but your body's bone dry and your socks are clean. Now, if your socks was off and you walking in that area, you're going to have dirt on your socks and mud on your socks, but you don't have any on there. So that just makes the question even more weirder, because you're trying to figure out, why is this happening? Why are we finding a body on the ground but they don't have any shoes on, but their socks are clean? And it looks like they had to have been walking in the area, but they weren't, obviously, because their socks aren't muddy, right? So that means somebody placed them there. There's another weird question. Who did it? Who was able to even carry a person that far without breaking a sweat or getting tired, I would think they would have sat the body down so the back would have been muddy, right? No. I mean, yeah, it was muddy there, but it's, like I said, the socks aren't muddy. Biggest question of all: why and how? I often wonder about that. How is this happening? Now, I can tell you right now that it's definitely aliens. I can tell you that it's definitely reptilian aliens, and there's also a good chance that it is some sort of interdimensional being that can travel from their dimension to ours. And if they look transparent to you, it's because they haven't fully brought themselves into our plane. So when they become solid, poof, they're here. But they can travel between both worlds. And it's so amazing that this other dimension can be right in front of your face, but our reality covers it up. It keeps us from seeing it. That's the reason why if we go into a meditative state, we can see all these things. We can feel all these things. You know, or if you just have that type of mind where you can see certain things that most people can't. You know, you're peering into another realm. You're peering into another dimension. Okay? So, those of you that have that gift where you can see ghosts, you're peering into another dimension. You know, where our world meets theirs. You know, the spirit world. Okay? When you see them passing through, they're actually still in the spirit world. It's just that the spirit world is here with us. It's all around us. We just can't see it. Our reality covers up what we can't see. Okay? Because in their reality, they can see us, but we can't see them. And it's vice versa on this side. We can see them. How do they say that? Okay, let me see. They said it, to us, we look like ghosts, transparent to them. Because when our worlds meet, it's like they just cross. It don't look like it, but it look like they just cross over, you know, into each other. So the body to us is looking transparent because their world and our world is together, but it's not linked to where it becomes as solid as our world is. You know, that's kind of hard to explain, but that's usually how that works, I would imagine. But as far as these disappearances, it's so weird. I mean, FLIR can't find them because the body might be under a log. The question is, how the heck did it get under a log in the first place? Somebody had to place them there. They had to lift up the log, put the body there, and then place the log on top of the body for the people who in the helicopters trying to find them. You can't find them. That would be the reason why. But the question is, how can any human pick up a log? Right? Do they have superhuman strength, or is it an alien that has a body structure that is way different from ours, where they don't have a problem lifting up, or they use some sort of anti-gravity device to lift up the log, place the body there, and place it back down on top of the body, so that when they fly over, they can't find it because of the code signature coming from the log. Now, if their arm was sticking out, that's one thing. They would see something. But these people are clever enough to make sure that the log is covering their entire body. So they probably place them down like this with their arms to their sides, and they just sit there, they're lying there in a straight line, you know, like straight like this. And then they place the log right on top of the body, therefore covering the entire part of the body. You know? And then, like I said, you got people that jog into the forest. They're with a group, and all of a sudden they say, I'm going to run ahead to this spot over here, and I'll meet you guys over there. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. No. You need to stay within that tight group, because when you get out of sight of those people and they still moving, by the time they get around that corner, you're already gone. You disappear within seconds, and then you're never found. Okay, and if you're found thousands of miles, like hundreds of miles away, maybe in a box canyon somewhere, or like near a creek bed or something, you know. And hopefully it won't be 4 years later, maybe like in a couple of days, like 24 days, maybe 50 days, whatever. But they searched that entire area 50 times over, and they are never found the whole time. The 51st time, boom, they checked that area again. There they are, right there, without a cause of death, and hardly no clothes on. and they try to figure out how did they get there in the first place. We searched every day, all day in all these areas, and all of a sudden, bam! Now you're here. It happens. Question is, are you gonna believe that it's a serial killer or a pedophile, or are you gonna believe it's something else? That's the main key to all of this. The key is what you are willing to believe. And I think I can say that I believe in a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't believe in, but I do, because I've seen stuff, I felt stuff. Okay, I've been down that road. I felt like Lucy at one point, but I couldn't do all the things that she was able to do. I just saw things in a different way. I've seen UFOs. Okay, I've seen ghosts. They've been in my house. They've made noises to make themselves known, but you know, they don't show themselves. So I've even heard disembodied voices. I've been groped by a ghost. You know, all right here in this house. So reality is a bitch, but the unknown is the coolest, because it tells you something that just blows your mind. You just want to find out more. Me personally, I don't know about the rest of you, but if the unknown excites me more than reality does, that's got to be saying something. Obviously, reality is already fucked up, so there's no point in you even believing in anything you see from, you know, as far as reality or our reality. Anything that happens beyond that is more interesting than anything in my eyes. So, the heck with reality, because I don't believe this is our reality anyway. This is like a made-up version of it. You know, I mean, if UFOs and aliens are traveling in and out of our space, and you find evidence of them helping out the Egyptians become a better race of people. You know, like finding like models of planes in the tombs. You know, finding these little alien carcasses, or looking at the skulls of the Egyptian kings where they had these elongated skulls that make you realize or believe that they are actually aliens, or they were half-breeds that were spliced by the Anunnaki. You ever heard of them? Yeah, just saying. A lot of weird stuff, folks, and that's what I'm here for, to feed you all the weird stuff. Okay, so if you like my channel, you know what to do. Hit me with them thumbs up and subscribe below. Okay, leave a comment, whatever. You know, help a brother out. You know, I need to get some national views here. So I'm telling all the people out there who stumble onto my video, tell your friends about me. Hit me with them thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. You know, get me to where I need to be. I want to get at least 1,000 subscribers that'll catapult me to the top. Okay, so the ones that have already, I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys. You know, and I will keep pushing for more videos as far as the weird ones go. You know, so I know I've kind of been laxing in that area about the weird evidence and stuff like that. But you know, like I said, the internet and the news only will post but so much. So, but yeah, I'm gonna still do what I gotta do. But at this time, that's the end of this video. I got the goals, and you know how I do it every time. Aloha, mahalo, and ohuiho. Peace out, guys. Be safe, be blessed, and have a great day.